With the value, then we can actually identify the intensity values of this RGB that come. That is, we have discussed in that last class. So you have a chance of coming a question regarding this one. Okay. Very simple. So that bitmap, that where actually your pixel address is, according to that, actually you need to find out from the lookup table that what actually the value has been given. That value should be in the binary format, and when you rearrange the binary format of that number, that according to that, like this example, as it is 12 bit, so for three different gun, maybe assigned for 444 each. So that first 4 bit should be go for red, then green, then last 4 for blue, and the number combination will give you actually out of 15 that the intensity, and this example, as you can see in the screen, is 1001 is actually 9 out of 15. This is actually 10 out of 15 for green, and blue is 1 out of 15. So you can assume actually the intensity of that combination of that color actually. Okay, that we have seen. Then we try to discuss about color model, and we said like a model is actually kind of an abstract mathematical model, and because the different tuples of number, through that actually we try to actually explain about the color model. Especially it is coming from a set of primary colors, as you know that for RGB we consider for red, green and blue, and whenever this description can be considered with a viewing condition, especially when we go for viewing condition, then we need an object, and that object is actually defining the color, that then it is called the color space, as like with the cube that we try to actually explain it. And the types of color, there are actually two types. We discussed about it. Who can tell about two types? Ashi, can you tell about those two types of those color that we have discussed?
Sorry, sir, I couldn't go through that lecture at home.
Okay, anyone else that about the two types of that color? Alamin?
No, sir, I actually can't.
We have another Alamin, Muhammad Alamin.
Yes, sir.
Yes, about the two types of color. Whatever you can remember. Maybe one we said one is additive, one is subtractive, right? Especially to perspective of actually color, that that is actually important to think, to way to think about the color, two different way. Mantakimo, can you remember anything?
So, yes, sir. One is RGB and another is cyan, yellow and magenta.
Magenta, yes. CMY. Those two actually name that you have said, but what about the understanding of color in two different way?
Sir, maybe primary and secondary.
Primary and secondary is actually in one type. Actually, you are defining different color. That is different, but the type at first, actually, our understanding about the color and their type. Who can tell? What about the ladies? So far, actually, the boys tried to reply. Anyone? We have said about two types.
Sorry, about the applications, or
you can define through the application. I said like your understanding of the color.
the RGB basically, sir, used for monitor, CPU monitor, and the another one there is magenta, yellow, and another one is, sir, that is used for, sir, printer, color printer. That is
Yes, Ryan, that's good. That actually I wanted to hear that this two way of thinking. When we are actually thinking about
The
the
process color.
uh, two way means actually when you are thinking about in your computer or even your mobile display that the color that you are using, and when actually you are thinking about in that same thing to print out, okay, then physically actually you need that where actually color is reflecting. So you can see that light is actually directly working on the reflection when you are actually considering it as a printing device. You need that color actually, really you need that color for actually reflection. But if you go for thinking about those color in the computer to see, that is actually we call it transmitted light. Actually it is not necessary to be reflected, so that the idea of the color are actually reversed there. Okay, so that's why they have kind of find out like, okay, RGB, what actually the secondary color for the RGB, so that red green is combining making what, green blue, or maybe red and blue. That this is actually giving you one set, and that set is actually considering primary for another actually perspective, which is actually the printing devices that actually we are going to use. So this two way that we need to see the color, and that's actually gives us those two set of color or two type of the color. So that is actually we call it RGB and CMY, and that is another actually color model, that the user based color model that we are going to discuss, which is actually the HSB color model, the hue, saturation or brightness color model. Okay, that is one type, but our main discussion will be at this moment is actually this RGB and CMY color model. You see that RGB is actually for the monitors or display, and CMY for actually the printing devices, and they both are actually hardware oriented. As you can see, hardware oriented as it is said, for whenever you are going for displaying, that is actually the device related. When you are going for actually print out, that is also a special device related, which is printer. Okay, and RGB color model that we discussed, which is additive color model, every time we have said, where the CRT is actually subtractive color model. As you can see, what actually these two word indicate, add is always actually top up something, right? And subtractive is actually always you are decreasing something. So when you think about printout, when you apply it, you definitely the color that you are actually using, which is actually decreasing the subtractive mode, where the additive is actually it's nothing like actually losing, as long as actually you are defining it to see in the display. Okay, and especially the computer display and light to display the color, so that because light is display to color, you can see that this is actually indicating what, when you combine actually all three color, that is actually the light. So from the light perspective we are actually defining the color. So that's why it's actually the transmitting light, the result of that transmitting light. Like white is combining red, green and blue with the primary color, and they can also be done with the secondary color with the white, which is maybe one primary, one secondary, like that say yellow and that blue. This is actually creating that white with the same way that maybe the green and magenta, red and sand, they also can create actually the white color. And there's the red secondary color is actually combined of them, like red and green is creating yellows, green and blue is cyan, and magenta is for red and blue. And look at the applications here for the RGB in hardware, like PC monitors, camera and scanner, mostly where actually you use the light for the color, and CMOI is actually only considered for the color printers. Okay, and to the color space is related to human vision. Okay, and we said that it is an additive color model, which is red, green and blue are combined and producing the color with a triplet value, that three of them sequentially as a order that actually give you the color combination, red, green, and blue, that already you have used, and can be defined with many function can support with the value in between the 0 to 1 or 0 to 255 and so on. You can see here that this is actually the cube is indicating the RGB here, and the black and white they are actually considering like that in the reverse way. When you have no light, that means no color. Okay, that is actually the first consideration. And when you have all light full, then actually it is white. Okay, so that's why they are actually sitting in the reverse position there. The RGB, the accounting to the sequence, with the three-dimensional cube to is actually plot x, y, and z. So that red is in x coordinate, y is green is in y coordinate, and blue is in z coordinate. Okay, and their combination now in the secondary color, they are creating different colors, like red and green is creating the yellow. Okay, red and blue is creating the magenta, and green and blue is creating the cyan. Okay, so that is actually the combination for that RGB. So I believe that we discussed up to this one, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, we'll move to CMY, then we'll see some conversation process. Okay. Let us have the attendance first. You need to come to the video for a while, please. All right, do you have Alif Laila Jannat? Not really. Ashikur Rahman Ashik. Ashikur Rahman Ashik. Muhammad Alamin.
Yes, sir.
Alamin. Nishat Ara. Shohidul Islam Antur. Shohidul Islam Antur. Antur, are you there? I can see on the 19103052. Okay, no, it's different. Sumaya Akhtar. Okay, Sumaya. Arifa Akhtar Ritu. Arifa Akhtar Ritu. Umme Jinatul Nisa.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Jinat. Parvez Alam.
Present, sir.
Okay, Parvez. Redwan Ahmed Ratul.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ratul Salvi Sawa.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Salvi Jakaria Salpapu. All right, Papu. Maria Mehjabin.
Present, sir.
Okay, Maria Israt Jarin. Israt Jarin. Abdul Khalek. Muhammad Abdul Khalek. Rabina Afrin Omi.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Omi. Tajnoba Yasin Esha.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Esha. Shariat Toyan.
Present, sir.
Okay, Toyan. Hussein Ahmed Antur.
Present, sir.
Okay, Antur. Pratyasha Roy.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Pratyasha Sharnika Dash.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Sharnika. Khadija Rahman Ria.
Present, sir.
Okay, Ria. Rahat Islam Rupu.
Present, sir.
Okay, Rupu. Mahmoud Akhtar.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mahmouda. Didar Al Mahmoud.
Present, sir.
Okay, Didar. Tamanna Tabassum.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Tamanna. Said Mahmoud Sifat. Said Mahmoud Sifat. Fairuz Tanjim Achul. Fairuz Tanjim Achul. You can see she is in here. Achul, are you there?
Sir.
Yes, are you there?
Hello, sir.
Yes. Sadiatunnesa Shetuli.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Shetuli. Mustafa Iram Uday.
Present, sir.
Okay, Uday. Sadia Hussein Mauri. Sadia Hussein Mauri. Sadia Akhtar. Sadia Akhtar. Mantakimur Rahman.
Yes, sir.
Mantakimur Atik Faisal Imam. Atik Faisal Imam. Rahul Devnath. Rahul Devnath.
Yes, sir.
Nishat Tasnim Jyoti. Jyoti. Sadat Mahmud Khan. Sadat Mahmud Khan. Firdaus Hassan Rifat. Firdaus Hassan Rifat. Minhaj bin Monif. Nahida.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Nahida.
Yes,
Hasibul
sir.
Hassan. Okay, that's fine. Hasibul Hassan Shanto.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Hasib. Sharmin Sultana. Sharmin Sultana. Ryan Hussein.
Yes, sir.
Ryan. Mahmud Alamin.
Yes, sir.
Muhammad Tariqul Islam.
Yes, sir.
Muhammad Ashikul Jaman.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ashik. So anyone missed? 32.
Yes, sir. Sir, Sabi.
What happened, you guys? Sadia, what happened? This is Sadia Hussain Modi or only Sadia? Only Sadia Akhtar. Can you hear me?
Sir, Sadiq Hussain movie.
Sadia Hussain Modi. So what happened to you?
It's actually,
You joined late actually, right?
no, sir.
All right. Atik Faisal Imam, what about you?
I don't get, sir.
You joined late, okay.
Sir, Arif Akhtar Ritu.
Why late, Ritu?
Sir, actually my net is going down, sir. That's why, sir, sometime I got disconnected, sir.
Okay.
I tried too much.
What is your, okay, got it. All right, that's all right. Anyone else? 35 then. Okay. Rahat Islam Rupu. Rupu, why did you submit late? With your submission, did you write any mail or any comment for your assignment submission, Rupu?
Sir, no, sir. Sir.
Yes, please do it, okay? You don't need to tell your reason here, but if you have any kind of clarification, then actually do it.
No, okay, sir. Actually,
In
sir,
every
I'm in
submission
Dhaka now,
is
sir.
yes, you are in Dhaka,
For
so
staying here,
that's good. What
and
is the relationship?
researching is home and
So
for
what is the relation with this with your submission?
sir, for that, sir, I don't have enough time, sir, for that.
You didn't have enough time for working on it because you are moving.
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, you should. I told you that you don't need to explain in here. I'm not actually asking you individually for the reasons. If you have some valid reason, you should write down or inform during
Okay,
your
sir.
submission. Okay. Nothing
Okay,
is
sir.
hidden, right? Our all activity is so much open that nothing has to do with it. Tariqul Islam, what about last class on Thursday? Tariq,
Yes, sir.
What about in the Thursday class? You were present in the Thursday?
No, sir.
No. What is the reason?
Sir, I was some emergency, sir.
You were?
Sir, emergency, sir.
You had some emergency.
Yes, sir.
About you or about your family?
Sir, about the family, sir.
Or someone else? All right, let's come back. I hope that more or less all of you have been submitted, right? The assignment.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All
Sir,
right. Yes, Pratyusha.
sir, our marks, sir. It's really scaring now.
Okay, your midterm. I'm actually a little bit. I was busy with some other thing actually this weekend. So you have many reason. Okay, I cannot tell any reason. Today actually I will upload your thing. I have done one section, but other two is remains. I had a plan maybe by Saturday I can do it, but I could not. At least what I can do at the end of the class, maybe at least I can let you your marks to know.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
but I'll submit. Sorry, I will upload. I'm more concerned about your uploading your stuff. So far, actually, I was waiting. Let's see that if we can spend at least 5 to 10 minutes for it. Okay, at the end maybe.
Please, sir.
Okay, so that you're all of you. I know that you are curious and some of you like maybe your curiosity I can understand, but many of us like not coming even in the classes. Like as you can see, at least 11 people are absent. I'm actually really getting worried for them because today also whatever we are discussing, maybe 5 marks will be there that in the exam or maybe something. So your understanding about the classes are actually very important. And also, I already told you, I quite forgot that we may have a actually extra classes. Not classes. I'll not tell that as a class because I'll call maybe all of you to say like one actually class maybe discussing about the OpenGL that we cannot accommodate now, and that will not directly come in your written exam or maybe in the viva, but maybe you are working with the OpenGL that is actually necessary, or maybe when you are going to work now about your a very small project. Okay, as maybe we are coming in the campus, hopefully not with this semester, so that we all still have to work with the remote places. So maybe we might have consider a very small work for the project. You may start actually thinking about what do you want to actually show. Like if I have any of the image where few object we have, or maybe a scenario we have, and some of the object are having some movement like those. So you start actually keep that in your mind. That's my concern. So within few days, must be in this week. It must be in this week. One of the evening, maybe we are going to sit. All right. You just keep that in your mind, and I cannot maybe give you a what is called a very earlier notice. Maybe I can give you a 24 hours notice that let's that take that time. Maybe let us sit maybe in one of the afternoon. Okay, so just mentally also be prepared. I hope that you can join. We can have a 1 or 2 hour session at the evening. Can help actually to work with your that what is called in your small project. Okay, and multiple people. If you say like multiple people, I'm not sure that how you can actually handle. If I ask you 2 to 3 people for one of the work, so what do you think? Do you have anything to say about, or it would be better for the individual to go?
Sir, I
Yes,
think if we have a session based on the OpenGL
right.
systems, then people will know more and will be, I think, will be able to do something.
No, that Definitely will be. That's actually I have said already. What I am actually saying at this point, that what do you think? This is necessary for knowing beforehand that how you are connected, like your friend to friend. Like, do you have one or two friends very close that okay, let us do something together? Is it a situation, or do you have?
So it's pretty much, I think that's pretty much
Sir,
very.
even individual.
So you do prefer individually, right? That's actually I wanted to say. Any task, just forget about what you are going to do, but any task, is it possible by working as a group, or you prefer in the individual? That is actually my concern. Then I will actually
Group would be better, sir. We can get in touch
Yes,
faster.
sir. Group work will be
but
Group will
that's
be better.
Sir.
as you are connected like as a group, so that you can also you need to distribute the work, right? Because I have a very strong wish that after finishing the final exam, when the viva will be go on, that time maybe at least I can find out at least one day between to have entire day of your this presentation. At least you will show your work. I'll ask you that group basis then.
Sir,
yes, sir. If there is a presentation matter, then group work will be
Presentation
better.
means actually you don't need to do any presentation file or nothing. Actually what I do during the uh, on-site actually classes in the campus, that I reserve one day for the lab from morning to the evening, and call all the group to bring their work, their project, and then I ask actually the code from there, that who has done what, and really they have understood about the work they have done or not, so that I can actually that time segment actually that which student has a how much contribution. Do you understand?
yes,
That definitely I will go with somewhere with you. So it is not a formal presentation that you will prepare slide and everything. You don't need to do anything. Only you have to come in here. You have to show your screen. You explain in a short that what actually the work you have done, and that could be randomly asked, maybe whatever the participant you have now. That time maybe with your group. So we just think about that way. That do you really want to actually have a that type of session, so that you have a group, so that you can work or distribute your work with your friend as well. So see, he or she is in your group, you done a very good job, you got 92, does not mean that your friend also will get 92. Do you understand?
sir,
Yes,
can
sir.
I add something?
Yes, please.
Sir, there is a disadvantage of working in a group. This is like, uh, if I have a three-person in my group, one or two will may work hardly, and the rest of the one or two will like sit and do nothing. And and end of the project, they will say that, okay, what about the project? Just tell me. Okay, this is the thing, and this is the code. You will tell this. You will tell this. So this this is the common way of
Yeah,
ending the project.
that's the same thing actually. I'm thinking about that, whether if we have
But
a like that, then if you have a individual, then actually the complete responsibility comes to you, right?
exactly, sir. But I think the project that we you will give us or will choose, that it will not be so too much long or too much lengthy to be completed by one individual. So if there is a group, I think the project will be too much complicated. But for a single student, I think a minimum of quality, I think is needed.
Uh, yeah, you were partially right. Yeah, when you go for definitely a group, what actually I did in one of the year, I can remember that I have actually given the idea, the theme idea about the image. I have given to all of them, and that I had to make at least 50 or 55 themes maybe so far I can remember, and I asked the student that okay, draw something on the basis of that theme, and then actually say like a tennis match. So two player is actually playing, the tennis match. So two objects from there, the ball is actually moving there. It is not like a game actually, you can understand. It's only actually having a movement of those two objects with the ball as a third object, maybe moving from that point to that point. And this is actually, I give student, okay, if match actually or game going on situation of an image. Now these are the object maybe can move. Now students actually will design by himself. It's his choice now from the thematic idea. So if the member we had say like 3 members there or 4 members there, then actually definitely I make it more complex. Then my requirement becomes high, so that task could be difficult. So whatever you now said has a relevance, okay. But when it is actually one people, then definitely we go for as much as minimum, so that we know that he has to do it by alone. Now, and we can go maybe for 2 people. What do you think? As maybe 2 people as a group?
No, sir. I think individually it's better, sir.
Individual is better?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Individual is better, sir.
Okay, I think many of you have changed the idea. So can you please raise the hand, those of you want individually? You want the work individually, you please raise the hand. This is a very important voting is going on, so please all of you need to participate. So those of you want, you raise the hand please. It is not the time actually to sleep, otherwise the load is coming will affect your sleep. Okay, I think so far 14. So for 14, where is we be in here? I'm not sure. At least 35 people we are in here. So out of 15 now. So it's still, it is less. That means it is indicating that the other people are actually working the task as a group.
Yes, sir.
It is looks like so. 16 is the raised hand. If it is go for group, does that mean that those who has actually raised the hand, they are quite single, cannot manage a friend?
No, sir. That is the meaning that if my friend joins with me, then he or she will not definitely not work. That is the problem, sir.
Yeah, that I can understand that. This is actually always happen some kind of psychological testing as
Yes, sir.
well when you have
So
a actually
one way
group
or other,
task.
the work will be done by myself. This is the ultimate result, sir. So
Even we got many Facebook posts actually about this situation, right? The emotional actually things are going there by the time when they have actually this submission and all these things. Yes, that is true. But Iram, if you really just quickly go through, when we come to know, we identify actually that who has done the work, who is not, and the mark actually vary that time. Okay, yeah, that's true that maybe with your hard work and effort, he or she has just got some mark, did not do that much, but still we have it. And online is actually easy. Last year I was taking MIS and I put a actually case study based project work like for the students. So I tell the students that you let me know it hiddenly that who is not participating that much with your work. So 3 or 4 tasks, you give it those tasks, and you don't do that task actually by yourself, at least at the end. So we come to know actually, even though friends, but whenever it is about task, you know that it is kind of a professional approach. So whenever say, just for an example, how it is happened. Say like a couple, they are not started their married life, but whenever they are somehow attached, they had many actually what is called compromise, or maybe they consider that okay, they will do many things, they will share many things, but whenever they started to live in actually under one roof, that time this all this compromise and all this sharing activity actually comes up, then life become really very hard, not so easy. Okay, so whenever you have very good friendship, when it comes about a project work and all these things, and you know that all these things are matters with some marks or grade or some value, then actually the friendship is actually tested as well. So that's why we do sometimes intentionally with a group work or project work with as a group, as a team, because this is also necessary when you work as a under one project actually development group, under one project manager and 3 or 4 of your actually fellow developer, and that's the learning as well. Anyway, I think maybe we have to rethink about individual assessment rather than actually we need to go for a group, at least 2 people maybe. If I go for 2, then this is also actually justify of your individual work, also those you want actually as a group wise work, that is also will be justified.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, Ritu.
Sir, will you choose the group member, or we need?
No, that is not possible for me actually, because you
Then I will say, please make it individual, sir.
if I not choose, why? Why it is
So
so? It is
because group member choosing is very much tough when you are unknown friend circle, or you are not ever.
yeah, but you see that that is actually not that many. Only out of 46, maybe 3 4 people,
Sir,
and
please, it's very much tough for me, sir, because I don't.
that's why I'm saying this is actually your individual problem, and that problem is only not for common. We need to consider when we are in a group or in a class or maybe in a team. Uh, Individual problem has to be handled individually, okay, but not in a general format. So you see that there are all other many students are actually from same batch, right?
Yes, sir. That
So
is the
that
problem.
they can actually do it. Now few of you maybe are from different batch, so that you might have some problem for that selection, that's right. But we can handle them. You can also be like, and 1 or 2 people can be individual work, that is not a problem, right?
Yes, sir.
So
But I think it's very much easier for you, sir, if you choose the group members, sir.
it is not very easy, okay, you, because I don't know that I have to assess them, many of your personal actually the attachment with many friends, so which I don't want to. So definitely we give actually the students, okay, you choose, and then actually give me the list. And 2 people, I said like this is only one partner that you are going to have as a member of 2. So those of you don't have, then maybe we go for making a group as well, or maybe we can then actually tell you, all right, do it by yourself then, right? Like individual member as a you can do it.
Yes, sir.
You understand, right, Marito? But many other students want to work as a group, maybe with 1 friend or 2 friends, so that we also need to give them some chance. Maybe they will have little bit extra work with them. Okay. So two members means actually 1 2. These 2 members as a group that we can actually make. You may discuss within yourself and can set out by this time that okay, this is the member I'm going to work. All right.
Okay, sir.
Okay. I think maybe we can lower down the hand, and you just make at first actually you just select yourself, you work with discuss with your friend who is going to be your member, and do one thing. so that not multiple members come. So one member cannot come actually in multiple group. Just make sure that your friend knows and she or he knows that you are in that group. Okay.
Sir, why not three?
Three, no, I think she would
Three
be.
will be better, sir. If you consider, sir, three will be better.
Why
Yes, sir.
three will be better? Can you tell me the reason, Papu?
Sir, if we work together on three, the work will be easy, sir. That's why I say.
Work will not be easy. Okay.
Sir, no, sir. Two is better
Two
because
is better because I
if
know
three people
this
in
is a big
there,
concern. When actually, what actually we do uh, during the on-site classes, there is advantage. You are coming at least 3-4 days in a class, and one of the class for 10 minutes I can also can take an update, so I can see your friend actually who is your partner. So that time what is actually going on that I can see. You may say like, sir, we have done up to that much. Your friend who is not attached, not working, then actually I can take a follow up. And when I asked about his friend, your friend or group member, what he or she is saying is very important. Then if he is not attached with the work, he are really in a puzzle situation by that
Sir,
time.
last semester I took a course to
So
Abhijit sir. Directly I did eliminated one guy. He didn't participate in none of that. And I declosed that to sir that sir I can take that guy. He couldn't participate. So we do often these things.
yeah, so what actually happens, we can do it, but at this online actually activity, it is a little bit difficult. And that's actually that's why I don't want to go for many number of members. Okay, if it is two, at least it will have a actually reflective situation. Okay, that what you have done, what he is saying, we can also actually make it find it out very easily during actually your presentation, or maybe the question answer session that time. So I think you just select maybe your best friend that they are actually working with or maybe eager to work with. So you can have a discussion and make sure that this is my group, and put a group name, any of the name. That would be, as it is a many number of group, it will be better actually. You should have something like little bit unique, or maybe you believe should not be actually same with the other one. Okay, I will ask you actually very soon about that. Okay, also maybe you can think about an image or something that you want to do. So I'm not going for my concern at first, rather than your concern, what actually you are thinking, giving that priority. Okay, let's continue here. I think we will run out of time, um, but we will have a definitely a OpenGL based session that understanding all. I believe that you already have a very primary concept about OpenGL, that how to work with it, as you have done one assignment. And yeah, so that it will give you better idea now working with function, or maybe in a big project, or maybe means big program, that how the program can be arranged, the function, the reason of this function, how it is working. Okay, that can be discussed. CMYK model or CMY model, we said like this is another model with the hardware based, especially for the printed material can be used. And as you can see that this is subtractive color model, as is been said. And this is a you can actually get that model or use that model through the reflected light, as in the pen and paper, that when we get a printout and we can actually see the color, that's actually indicating the CMY color space, where actually the cyan is primary color, magenta and the yellow, and their combination can create actually the secondary color, which is actually the primary color for the other color model, which was RGB. And interesting one is actually it is reflective, as you can see that this is actually the black, when you have all three color is high, so that actually you can do it. So that's why we said like, if we wish in our printed material can be used the RGB color. Okay, so that what actually happened, if in the printed material, if we could have done it, you can understand that when there is no ink, actually that time actually what we can get, in RGB color model, for all the color, if you want to gate, there is no ink, then actually the black would be, so that you can have actually the infinite printing is possible, right? But printing, whenever we get an object which is actually reflecting light, then actually we need the color which can be reflected, so that should not be transmitted through. And this is actually the law of physics, as you know, that the color we can see which is absent there, right? That's actually the reflect to our eye, so that actually we can see it. Okay, so that is actually the basic reason. If you have the color in that object, then actually it transmitted through, so that we cannot actually see that. In CMOI color space, you can see there in the cube, the opposite position they have. When you have no color, then actually white. So if your ink has been gone off on your cartridge, so that actually what you can see that the printout gives you the white blank page. When it is actually all the color are high, then you can get the black. Okay, the cyan is in X coordinate, magenta is in Y coordinate, and yellow is in that Z coordinate. And that yellow and cyan is actually creating the green, cyan and magenta is creating the blue, and red has been created by magenta and yellow. Okay, so that's actually that CMY color space. We can go for some conversion of the color space, very simple, as we can see that they are actually reverse, so that the one color space is equal to actually one minus another color space. Okay, so that actually in a three-dimensional one-dimensional vector, that matrix that we can see, where the CMY is equal to 111 minus RGB. Now if any color has been defined in any of the color space, then we can automatically identify that color should be in the other color space. Like in the example, you can see red color in RGB. In RGB color space, the red color has been shown in 100, as we know. Now in CMY, what should be the color space, so that we can actually identify it very easily. So CMY is equal to 1 minus, that means 111 minus RGB. Now in the RGB, the color space, that is actually 100, so that 100. Now if we do the subtraction, then 1 minus 1 is 0, 1 minus 0 is 1, and 1 minus 0 is 1. So 0, 1, 1 in the CMI color space now. So that indicates that this is M for magenta and Y for yellow. So magenta and yellow is creating the red color in CMY color space. Now if you have in the exam, what you need to do, you need to identify actually that CMY color means whatever the color space has been asked, that one for that color, and also actually show that in the color space. So in this question we can do like, okay, this is CMY color space, you need to draw and you need to show that, look, this is actually the red. Okay, and red is actually coming with magenta and yellow. Okay, so magenta and yellow is actually creating the red, so you just mark it, right? The same way, say like we have magenta is written in CMY as 010, so what it should be in the RGB color space, so that whenever we have CMY is equal to 1 minus RGB, and CMY, the value for the magenta is 010, so that what we can do, we can actually take that RGB in this side as it was negative, and we take this one in this side, so that we get RGB is equal to that 111 minus 010, and 1 minus 0 is 1, 1 minus 1 is 0, and 1 minus 0 is 1. So we get actually 101 in the RGB color space now. Okay, that means red and blue. So now you need to draw actually the RGB one, and you need to show that red and blue is actually creating 101 is actually magenta, so you just mark out in here, right? Do you understand the conversion process?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all
Yes,
right,
sir.
so that is very simple, and Actually, when we have 3 hours written exam, that time this is actually also important. I give it actually only for 2 marks maybe, or 3 marks, so that the student can do it quickly. Now for online exam, if it is only 1.5 hour or 2 hour exam, then maybe we don't need it. But for quiz exam or for other viva or something, that is actually necessary. Okay, and very simple thing, so that you can remember. We said the model is CMY, but we also have found that term actually in many cases CMYK, right? There is actually one organization maybe about the printing materials, that CMYK, and that is that K. Where is this coming from? You see here for color space, if you just look at in here, when actually you get the black, when all three you have actually that high level of the colors. I had a printer that is actually having these three cartes, that CMY, actually cyan, magenta, and yellow. And whenever I started to have a black printing printout, and if it is something any color printout, if we do, then actually what happened? These pigments go down for one of them. Say like one of my document was having most of are actually kind of green colors, so that this cyan and yellow has been used. Cyan and yellow has been used more. Now we have a little bit high in magenta, but cyan and yellow is actually more. Now what happened? Finally, when we go for some black color, then actually it does not come actually the pure black, because the percentage of this color actually goes down. I say like one cyan is already finished. Now with these two, create the black color. This is actually not kind of a black color. Okay, magenta and yellow, creating some kind of red color maybe, or something which is not pure black. So this problem to avoid, to get the black color, that K is actually that extension of another cartridge, which is the pure black that we have. So that this fourth component K, which is the pure black, and absorbs all light in the visible spectrum. So when we use for that, if it is black, it goes for that separate actually, that card is for it. So whenever the black is represented is a 111 for CMY color space and generated by mixing cyan, magenta, and yellow. But due to the pigment imperfections, it is not as dark as the genuine black ink that it happened. So that 4-color CMYK printing gives a visually superior results with greatest contrast. As you can see here, if this is not 3, they are actually 4 with another color printer cartridge that we have. Okay, how many minutes? That, sorry?
Marks.
28. Okay, all right. So we have 2 minutes left, maybe, right? Okay, that HSB model I wanted to finish, and also wanted to start something different. We need to have some discussion with this one by drawing, so that I think we have to go for next day. Anyway, okay, thank you. Let us go for our marks, as it is very much expected. Again, you just write me your serial number, yes, and the name. Redwan is the first one actually, very quick to react. But please do not